Section 2 objectives is to explain how pre-incident plans, occupancy types, and locations may indicate the presence of hazardous materials. Simply stated, hazardous materials may be found anywhere. Not all locations or occupancies are as obvious as local chemical manufacturing plants, and you may have little or no warning when hazmat is transported through your area by road, rail, or waterway. However, pre-incident surveys and a structure's occupancy type may provide the first clue that hazmat may be involved in an incident. The location and occupancy known also may be an indicator that terrorism is involved. In today's world, a new and emerging problem is clandestine laboratories and illegal or legal grown operations. These laboratories may be located in any occupancy or location, including vehicles, campgrounds, and hotel rooms. These labs may be haphazardly assembled and often booby-trapped. The section that follows will address pre-incident plans that identify where hazardous materials are used, stored, and transported, occupancy types, which are likely to have hazardous materials, and locations where hazmat incidents often occur. With pre-incident plans, it will help the first responder because hazmat incidents can be quite volatile. First responders may need to make decisions quickly and accurately. Conducting pre-incident surveys, also called pre-plans, and being familiar with local emergency response plans can simplify and reduce on-scene decisions. With the groundwork laid, first responders can concentrate on the situation and operate more safely and efficiently. Pre-planning reduces oversights, confusion, and effort duplication, and it results in a desirable outcome. Furthermore, pre-incident surveys identify the following items: exposures such as people, property, and the environment, hazmat types, quantities, dangers, and locations, building features such as the location of fixed fire suppression systems, site characteristics, possible access and egress difficulties, inherent limitations of response organizations when trying to control certain types of hazmat emergencies, 24-hour telephone numbers of responsible parties and site experts, and site or occupancy response capabilities. Planning is an ongoing process that includes reviewing surveys and updating them regularly. Pre-incident surveys are not always accurate, however, because inventories, businesses, and other factors may change without notice. Compliance with existing reporting rules and regulations cannot be guaranteed. Always expect to find the unexpected. With occupancy types, certain occupancies are more likely to have hazardous materials, including the following: fuel storage facilities, gas stations and convenience stores, paint supply stores, plant nurseries, garden centers, agricultural facilities, pest control and lawn care maintenance companies, medical facilities, photo processing laboratories, dry cleaners, plastics and high technology factories, metal plating business, mercantile concerns such as hardware stores, grocery stores, and certain department stores, chemistry and other laboratories and education facilities, including high schools, lumber yards, feed and farm stores, veterinary clinics, print shops, warehouses, industrial and utility plants, port shipping facilities with changing cargo hazards, treatment storage disposal facilities, abandoned facilities that may be contained or used hazardous materials, big box retail stores, shipping depots, and military installation. Residential occupancies may have hazardous chemicals such as drain cleaners, pesticides, fertilizers, paint products, flammable liquids, swimming pool chemicals, propane tanks or gas grills, and other common household products. Farms may have dangerous products such as pesticides and anhydrous ammonia. Any building with a fume hood exhaust stack on the roof probably has a functioning laboratory inside. Hazmat transportation accidents may be more likely to occur in certain areas. Places where hazmat is transferred or handled, such as trucking warehouses, are also likely locations for hazmat accidents. These locations include ports, docks or piers, railroad sidings, airplane hangars, and truck terminals. Consult with local law enforcement officials to identify and determine potential problem spot or areas based on traffic studies. Each transportation mode has particular locations where accidents may occur more frequently. With roadways, it could be designated truck routes, blind intersections, poorly marked or poorly engineered interchanges, areas frequently congested by traffic, heavy traveled roads, sharp turns, steep grades, highway interchanges, ramps, bridges, and tunnels. With railway, it could happen at depots, terminals, switch or classification yards, sections of poorly laid or poorly maintained tracks, steep grades, severe curves, shunts or sidings, uncontrolled crossings, loading and unloading facilities, bridges, trestles, and tunnels. With waterways, it could happen at difficult passages at bends or other threats to navigation, bridges and other crossings, piers, docks, shallow areas, locks, and loading and unloading stations. At airways, you could have a hazmat incident at fueling ramps, repair or maintenance hangars, freight terminals, or with crop dusting planes and supplies. And at last, you could have hazmat incidents at pipelines that have exposed crossings over waterways or railroads, pumping stations, construction demolition sites, and immediate or final storage facilities. First responders should always pay attention to water level in rivers and tidal areas. Be aware of the following facts. Many accidents may occur because flow volume and tidal conditions are not considered. These flow and tidal variances affect clearance under bridges, many of which also have pipelines, water mains, gas lines, and like attached to them. Occupancies in low-lying areas that may be affected by flood conditions must have contingency plan to isolate and protect hazardous materials. Tidal and flow conditions are constantly changing. Areas that were once considered safe may become compromised by change of tidal direction, flow rate, and back eddies. Once a hazardous material reaches an outside water source, it becomes a moving incident and is extremely difficult to contain, confine, and mitigate. First responders should be familiar with the types of hazmat shipments that come through their jurisdiction. For example, farming communities may be more likely to see tanks of anhydrous ammonia passing through, whereas a port serving an industrial complex with many refineries might see more petroleum products. The review question for this section is, what types of occupancies are most likely to have hazmat materials? To find the answer to this question, see pages 48 and 49 of the manual.